centripetal and centrifugal forces are going to be national forces that can either promote devolution or that can bring a group together as one and be united in their characteristics. It works like this. A centripetal force is going to be a nationalistic characteristic that brings a group together or unifies them, okay? A centripetal force in the United States would be that we all, no matter who we are, no matter what our background is, we, for the most part, pretty much agree that we should have the right to do culturally, religiously, what we want to do and say what we want to say, freedom of speech, freedom of expression. We can all pretty much rally behind that as a country. And that would be something that brings us together, even among all of our differences in the United States. A centrifugal force would be probably the best example of that is what we talked about a few weeks ago with Yugoslavia. And when the Balkans kind of broke down in a big mess with the Serbs trying to beat up the Bosnians and Croats and all that. All those different people in that one country, Yugoslavia, were completely different. They were nationally and religiously and linguistically different, and all those differences pulled them apart and forced them apart into smaller subgroups based on what they had in common. So that's how centripetal and centrifugal forces work. And in the examples we've already looked at, we've seen them both at play. For example, in Belgium, the Walloons and the Flemish feel together within their own national identity, but as a political unit, that's where I'd mentioned it. They feel like a bad marriage that can't afford a divorce. All right. So what it does is that their feelings of nationalism, their feelings of linguistic similarity, kind of make the Flemish want to do their own thing as Flemish, and the Walloons do their own thing as Wallonia. Catalonia, the same exact thing. All right. This here would be an example of Spain as one country together, but because of centrifugal forces such as the Basque and such as Catalonia, you can see that country is there's a lot of different national groups represented there, and they in some cases have wanted, like in the case of Catalonia and the Basque country, have wanted independence from Spain. And then there's also Quebec. We didn't talk about Quebec earlier. I wish I would have put up a map. Quebec is one of the provinces in Canada. It has a French legacy there because this is where the French first colonized whenever they were in, going back to the age of exploration. And so the people that live there to this day speak primarily French and are more culturally French than the rest of Canada, which is more culturally English. And so the result of this is, there's been some people that wanted to be their own country in Quebec. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but it's kind of along the same lines as Catalonia and the Basque country and all these others. There's people there that feel nationally unique from the rest of Canada. All right, so okay, hang on a sec. Okay, all right, see, I got it. All right. I think that this slide is out of place, though. Yeah, this slide is out of place. So we'll go back to France in a second. It's supposed to be. They're supposed to be a little bit later than that. Finland is another example of a state that has practiced devolution. This little group of islands down here is known as the Åland Islands. I hope I'm saying that right. And in this region, the people are predominantly Swedish. Now, Sweden is going to be the country that is going to be right here, if you're looking at a map. And they're separated by body of water. But you've got this small group of islands down here. The majority of them is uninhabitable. But this archipelago has a lot of crops, all right? A mild climate that supports agriculture. I've underlined a few things here. Tourism, shipping, commerce, and banking is really, really important. The Finnish, the people of Finland, and Sweden, they're able to be, people are able to, or I guess they use boats to get there, cars to get there if you live in Finland, is what I'm trying to say. The inhabitants speak Swedish. These are all things that work as centripetal forces for the people within Åland. Okay. For that reason, there is a large amount of autonomy. And so this here would be an example of a devolved region within Finland. there's a huge amount of autonomy there for those people because they're not like the rest of the people in Finland, and they also have a pretty good economy for their small little group of islands that's unique to their culture.